We appreciate you carving out some time today to join us here on Retiring Well, and we've put together a great show that we think you're going to love. We are starting out with one of our team members, Ashley, and she's going to be talking with me about how we adapt and changes in retirement for people. We talk about planning all the time, but what if life gives you a twist and it doesn't go as planned? Then we're going to talk about generating income without working. You know, years ago I heard this saying, retirement's like 20 to 30 years of unemployment. How are we going to generate that income? Then going to have a little information about what is the Social Security Administration, why is the importance of that, and what does that mean to you as a retiree? And to wrap up the show, we're going to be talking about business owners and retirement. Oftentimes, business owners don't make the best investors, so what are some things to consider if you're a business owner and you're thinking about retirement? Stay with us because we're going to bring this and so much more here on Retiring Well this week.
Retiring Well, brought to you by Centennial Wealth Advisory, financial advisors specializing in retirement planning and serving all of Northern Michigan. Retiring Well, helping you plan for a successful and comfortable retirement. Retiring Well. Plan to retire well.
Thank you for tuning in this week on Retiring Well. We're so excited to bring this show to you today, and I'm excited for you to here in the studio. We have Ashley Smith, one of our longtime team members here at Centennial Wealth Advisory, and she provides a wealth of knowledge to our team and has the interesting and an exciting job, I think, of helping a lot of our clients and assist with the advisors here in the office with helping their dreams become realities. So often on the show, we talk about planning and helping you plan to retire well. But what if life takes a little bit of a turn? You know, it gives us those lemons and we have to make lemonade out of that. You know, Ashley on our team helps us do that and helps our clients be able to still live that lifestyle they want to. And I know, Ashley, you were, we worked together recently on a case here and a client, and you helped turn this stress into a positive for them.
Yes, I was able to help those meet those cash needs for our clients recently. They were retiring and they wanted to move from a cooler climate to a warmer climate. They also wanted to build their dream home, so I helped them in the whole process on that. And once they got down there, built their new home, they sold their Michigan home. They decided it wasn't really something that they were looking for. You know, it wasn't quite what they expected. So basically, I was able to kind of ease their mind there and help them with getting in touch with the tax advisor and with cash needs as well for travel expenses and whatever else may come as well.
Absolutely, and that's a great example. You know, here at Centennial Wealth Advisory, it's not just about everything going as planned. You know, that's a wonderful thing, but as you know, it doesn't. And the example that Ashley provided here, she took a client's stress that they had with what they thought was their dream home, worked with the accounts and the funds they had, worked with our tax team and then also the advisors to make sure they have a plan that they could still be comfortable and get in that situation they want so they could still meet those goals and live that beautiful retirement they wanted. You know, and Ashley, another example, you helped a younger person, I know they fell on some hard times, and in the unfortunate event where they had to dip into their retirement funds earlier, but you walked them through it, and I think again made that stressful time an easy time.
Yes, so the 401k company that they were working with wasn't really giving them they weren't really helping them the way they should have been, I guess. And so the client came to us and they were able to come in, and I was able to create a login online and send a check to the address of record that day. So that was really nice. They were able to get an overnight mailed check versus having to wait a couple of months for that distribution. So that was good.
That's so great. You know, having that personal relationship with your advisor and having a team at your resource, we feel is so vitally important for that. Having somebody that you can trust and connect with to be able to take care of those needs. Please stay with us as we have so much more coming up that you're not going to want to miss here on Retiring Well.
You know, what a great segment on being able to adapt to change. You know, the one constant that we do have in this world is change. We don't know what that's going to be, but it's a reality. And I like to attack fear with facts, the fear of change, the fear of the unknown. We got to start with facts, and we got to start with a plan. You know, a personal way that I've done that is with my own kids. You know, I've put them in situations that are uncomfortable, that are dynamic, that are fast moving. They have to make decisions, and they have to be able to have some plan A's and plan B's and plan C's in place. I do that a lot through water skiing and just giving them the opportunity to know that life comes at you fast, and if this happens, I want them to be dynamic in their decision making to make the good decision and be able to react accordingly. And I think that flows very naturally over into retirement. You know, recently in the Cadillac office, I had a client that had a very bad situation with a family member happen, and there was need that was top priority. And so what we did is we had this beautiful plan in place, and it changed. And so we said, okay, we need to take this money to go help that family member, and we're going to do that. And then here's how it affects, and here's how we're going to change and adjust accordingly. And for them to take that emotional time in their life to be able to sit down and talk with somebody and map out, you know, the adjustments was super helpful. Nick, I know you have some stories too about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just so important to have a second eyes on things, a second opinion. You know, you were mentioning your kids there. You're pushing your kids to overcome their fears. They have their dad there, right, by their side. Well, that's kind of like us here at Centennial Wealth. I mean, it's not just Jack and I and John and Art. We've got that team behind the scenes where, like, let's say you need something right away and you can't get a hold of us because we're in a meeting, right? Well, there's a big ancillary staff behind the scenes that they can help. They can get those urgent requests for withdrawals or something like that and help take care of that for you. So let us be that sounding board. Let us help you work through those difficult situations in your life. Not just us, but the whole team here at Centennial Wealth Advisory. All right, stay tuned. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about generating an income without working, and then what is the Social Security Administration?
When you have confidence in your retirement future, you can live the life you've always imagined. Because of planning, you now have time to reflect on the wonderful memories of your life. You and your spouse finally have the luxury of leisure time together. To spend fun times with your grandkids, sharing the joy of their excitement about life. Smiling at the thought of quality time with your children and of picking up the check. At last, you have time to breathe and rekindle the love of your life. Why? Because you imagined what could be. You planned for retirement. So today, you own your future.
Let's talk about generating income without working. So upon retirement, some people may just never look back and not want to work at all. Others may want to pick up some type of part-time work just to stay involved, stay active, stay social. So one of those areas that you might consider would be a rental property. Now, my wife and I own rental properties and believe in real estate, but this can definitely create a lot of extra work. So may not qualify here. If you don't want to be working, maybe something to consider for additional income would be dividend stocks. So these stocks may pay out on either a quarterly basis or a monthly dividend that you can ultimately look at as some type of reward for investing in that company. Now, it's going to typically be more established companies that you would consider more of like a value stock, and it's going to have a longer track record of profitability, maybe greater liquidity than some of the newer growth types of stocks. They're going to generate yield. So this is going to be sort of this annual dividend payout as a proportion of the share price. So just because it's higher doesn't always ensure that it's going to be a better stock to hold. You want to be careful that if it's going to be too excessive, that it could be unsustainable. At Centennial Wealth Advisory, there's different strategies that we'll utilize through money management that are going to continue to actively look at maybe 50 to 60 different types of dividend-paying stocks. And these stocks are going to be focused on companies that have a good, strong track record of paying good dividends and adjustments made as necessary. And another example is if a company cuts their dividends, or if the company's fallen out of favor, then maybe it's no longer time to hold that. Another option to consider may be a CD or bond or annuity ladder. And what I mean by that is ultimately choosing a different account that has a different maturity date and stretching those out over a period of time. So that might be with, as an example, with the banks. You might have a 3-month, 6-month, 9-month, 12-month CD ladder that you've done, and hopefully you're getting a little better interest as you go further out. Or you may look at, with the different insurance companies, there's different fixed annuities that are paying a set interest rate for a period of time. Maybe it's 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And so with interest rates having come up here over the most recent future, or recent times and everything, as we look into the future, that may be an option that you want to consider if you want to have some type of fixed return on your account with stability. Now, of course, you have to have the appropriate licenses and all that to be discussing all of those different areas. And that's something that if you haven't considered dividend stocks or some type of laddered approach, we'd encourage you to give us a call here at Centennial Wealth Advisory.
Your grandchildren are precious to you. They are your life. This is your time to have that special relationship. Taking care of yourself is taking care of them. Centennial Wealth Advisory is offering a free, no-obligation retirement review to make sure you don't run out of money during your retirement. Centennial Wealth Advisory. Your best is yet to come.
You made it. Years of hard work, investing, planning, and now you're here. The long-awaited reward you spent a lifetime looking forward to. But what now? After years of growing a nest egg, now you may want to manage it. Use it to fund your dreams. Make it last as long as you need it. And leave some for those you love. So what do? Wall Street continues to be uncertain, and some conservative options have dropped through the floor. How do you maintain opportunities for growth and reduce risk of loss from market changes? That's where we come in. We are financial professionals. From investments and insurance products to tax reduction strategies and guaranteed retirement income you cannot outlive, provided by the claims-paying ability of insurance companies. You've worked a lifetime to get here. Let us help you enjoy it to the fullest. For a complimentary consultation, simply contact us today.
Living life isn't always easy. It puts up challenges and obstacles you'll have to overcome. There are responsibilities. You put in effort to provide and take care of your family, to save and invest, to balance work and life. Planning is the first step to succeeding. Plan to retire well.
What is the Social Security Administration? So SSA for short was formed back in 1935, and it focused on paying benefits to retired workers. So then in 1939 they added benefits for spouses along with survivors and then minor children of deceased workers. Later in 1956 disability benefits were added, and then 1965 is when Medicare began. So there's a slew of programs that SSA provides. So walking through those, you've got the Social Security retirement benefits. I mean, that's going to be providing a monthly income based on 35 years of your highest income earnings. So you can start that anywhere between the ages of 62 to 70, and those different decisions are going to be key is based on maybe your health or your lifestyle. What sort of income do you need? If you're maybe still working when you're 62, 66, maybe upwards of 70, then you may want to determine when you want to start that Social Security income. There's also Social Security disability benefits. So it provides benefits to workers who become disabled and ultimately can no longer work. There's going to be several rules and criteria to meet eligibility requirements, so you'll want to look into that more specifically. There's Social Security survivors benefits. So this is for a spouse and maybe other family members of a worker who has passed away. Widow or widower can begin benefits at age 60, along with if they're raising the deceased child. Again, there's going to be different rules as far as the age of those children. But then another is going to be Medicare. So that's going to provide health insurance for people age 65 plus. And then SSA handles the enrollment for Medicare in Parts A and B, and the premiums can then be withheld from your Social Security checks. And then SSA is ultimately going to be funded through the federal payroll tax called FICA. So both employees and employers contribute to this, along with self-employed individuals are paying into this. So you're maybe witnessing, if you're looking at Social Security retirement benefits, how it's projected here in the next decade or so, how they may be reducing benefits by approximately 21-22% if nothing changes. So that's where it's unknown at this point what that looks like, if they'll adjust those FICA taxes to continue to prolong those benefits and not have to reduce them. So I encourage you, if you don't currently have a plan as far as when to draw your Social Security, we'd like to sit down and have a conversation with you to better understand where you are, what you're trying to do, and maybe help provide you some plans to retire well.
Another very informative segment there on what is the Social Security Administration. I found that John touched on Medicare as a topic that does get covered by Social Security Administration. And what I've found is a lot of people don't really understand that they do take care of Medicare as well. Numerous times, just recently, I've had clients where they're approaching the age of 65, they're not on Social Security, and they want to know, how do they sign up for Medicare? And really, it's a simple call to Social Security. And when I say that to them, they're like, well, wait a second, I don't want my Social Security benefits to start, I want Medicare. Well, it's the same thing. You call the same place. Now, there also are other options to sign up for Medicare as well. You can do it right online, although I found a lot of people, they want to speak with someone, right? They want to know that, hey, everything is going to be in place, because it's a big milestone to accomplish in your life. Attaining that age of 65 and getting on Medicare. Another option is you can obviously schedule an appointment with Social Security office, but typically that's going to be a ways down the road. So it's often easiest just to make a phone call to Social Security. And I know John was talking about also generating income without working as well.
Yeah, we have, I have 3 clients that I'm going to use as an example. The first one, very bullish on stocks, but wanted to get some income from it. So we were able to map out this dividend strategy, whether instead of reinvesting the dividends to buy more, they're actually going to be taking those dividend payments as income in their retirement. The next situation, I had a client, they said, hey, as these fixed rates have come up, we started strategizing a 3-month, 6-month, 9-month, and 12-month CD ladder. And every 3 months, they're going to make a decision. Do I want to take that as income, or do I just want to reinvest into another CD and keep rolling those earnings? And then finally, we have another client that said, okay, my cash flow needs right now are good, my savings are good, I want a little bit longer of a timeline. And so we went to these fixed annuities, and we started a 2-year, 3-year, and 5-year fixed annuity because they had the best rates for what the client was trying to accomplish. And to be able to do that is obviously super fun for us here at Centennial. So if you have questions, if you want to figure out how you can earn some income potentially without working, please feel free to give us a call. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about businesses and retirement. Stay tuned.
Remember when life was simpler? When things didn't move quite so fast, and the world didn't seem so complex? Remember that? We do. And as the world around us has continued to speed up, becoming more complicated, and still a bit uncertain, we have managed to keep things simple, providing sound, easy-to-understand financial advice and customized roadmaps for the road ahead, from tax reduction strategies, investment advice, and guaranteed retirement income you cannot outlive, backed by the claims-paying ability of insurance companies. We can be your single point of contact, a single call, a voice you recognize well, and a partner who can be by your side for the entire journey. We can't stop the world around us, but we can help ensure you're prepared for what's to come. To schedule a no-obligation meeting, simply contact us today.
If you like watching Retiring Well, make sure to go to youtube.com/retiringwell and click the subscribe button to never miss any of our TV shows and other informative videos.
You're a business owner. You've forged your own path along the way to create this business, provide for your family, and build this potential business that you have over these years. You've already kind of forged a unique path. As we've met with business owners over the years and helped them plan for their retirement, sometimes I joke with them and say, you know, business owners make the worst investors. Why is that? Because you've been in charge of everything your whole life. You know that if you spend $1 on marketing, you can sell X number of widgets or whatever you do. You put $1 into your company, it's going to give you a number back. As an investor, you have to give up a little bit of that control, right? So it's a different feeling from when you're a business owner. So as business owners, we have to kind of start to adapt and look at retirement and make sure we're able and capable of doing this at different levels, and how are we going to do this? So let me pose a couple things out there for our business owners out here that just to kind of start thinking about as you're starting to consider your retirement. One, is your business worth anything? And you kind of might say, well, what do you mean? Of course it's worth something. Well, if you put that business on the market for sale today, can it be sold? Is it marketable? Do you just have inventory? Do you just have goodwill? What are the various things that you might be able to sell, or can you sell it as a whole? Are you even going to sell it? You know, oftentimes, when you look at a business, you're creating value and you're growing the value of the business, or in some businesses out there, you're just really creating a paycheck, and when you walk away, the business may not have value. So start to look at that and how that looks for you. Also, what is that succession plan? If you're even going to sell the business, who's going to take it over? Is there someone in the business that's already kind of worked their way into that role? Is there a family member that's going to take it over? Or are you going to put it on the market and just walk away from this? And ask yourself realistically, are you going to be able to personally walk away from this business? Retiring as a business owner sometimes is one of the hardest things to do. Also, is there real estate out there? Do you own real estate with this business? Is that going to be able to be sold at some point? And what value is that? Or does it make sense to keep that real estate intact, maybe sell the business and then rent that out, and from a cash flow perspective? Again, different options that maybe a business owner may have. Also, one thing you can do while you're still working is take advantage of the other options that you may have to save for retirement that just business owners have that ability to. depending upon the size of your business, number of employees, income levels, stuff like that, you may have access to simple IRAs, SEP IRAs, maybe a solo 401k or a traditional 401k. All these different things out there that may be only available to business owners or the likes of there. So take advantage of some of these opportunities out there. And one little thing too that's maybe not from an investment perspective that we too often see as business owners is don't forget about life insurance. You know, as a business owner, you're assuming a lot of risk out there on yourself, and usually you have a lot of power in a way over that business. And if something happened to you, there's a lot of people affected, and in many cases you kind of have the secret sauce of that business. So protect your family members, your loved ones, and consider that life insurance while you're still working and growing that business. So if you're a business owner out there and you're unsure of retirement and you want to start putting together these pieces, it's a great time, and there's never too early to start. Here at Centennial Wealth, we'd love to help you sit down with that and create a personalized retirement plan so you can plan to retire well, even as a business owner.
It was a very interesting segment there from Art, and what I really appreciated the most was the talking points on business succession planning. You know, I've come across this recently out of the Gaylord office with a couple from the UP, and their biggest concern was, okay, they know they want to retire, they want to be done with the business, and they want to leave that business to their 2 kids that are working in that business. So they want to know what was the best way to get out of that business without negatively impacting both the business and then also the children that are going to be taking over that business. And so here at Centennial Wealth, we were able to sit down with them and another team member behind the scenes on the tax side to go over the different options that they have. We determined how much the business was worth and the best route for them to go to get out of that business. And for them, it made the most sense to have an installment plan. So the kids would pay off their parents through the business over 15 years plus. Both, it would benefit the business as far as it's not a huge payment right up front, and also benefits the couple as well because they have that steady income coming in for the next 15 years, and it worked out so well on so many different fronts.
You know, I love the quote as you're saying there, Nick, that comes to mind here where it says, fail to plan, plan to fail. You know, recently I've been meeting with these, high net worth business owners that have spent so much time building the business. They haven't taken the time to plan on what the business transition is going to look like. And if you look at our tax code, I find myself teaching about taxes quite a bit and just giving some really basic, things back to the clients. And, it has been said, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. And if you look at our progressive tax code, big chunks, big percentage of taxes go out. And so if you're sitting there and you've built up this business and you're wondering, hey, what's my succession plan? What's my, plan to get rid of that business? Please feel free to give us a call. We do this often. We'd love to be able to sit down and give you that no obligation, second party review of your plan. So thank you so much for tuning into our show each and every week. We appreciate that you spend this time. We hope you have a great week. We'll see you next week, same time, same station.